Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Now you might be wondering, I thought I was gonna get The Last of Us breakdown, a review of episode 1. Well, that's what you're getting, but this is from my podcast, Words from the Nerds podcast, here on YouTube, here on audio. The link is in the description, in the bio, the link tree, it'll all be there. I'll even put up a picture of the channel right here. But essentially what this is just taken from the podcast. It's a quick little like review of what we thought about the first episode. We have posted a review of the first, second, and third episode, and at the time of recording on February 9th, we are recording the fourth episode review tonight, and then it'll be up tomorrow. The fifth episode comes out on Friday, and you can expect that review to be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, anytime posted around there. Now, I wanted to drop this on this channel because I did post my trailer reaction and it went crazy. And I saw a lot of people saying, oh, we look forward to you covering this show. And I'm not going to be covering it on this channel, but on the podcast with my co-host Charlie. Great guy, has so much insight on the game and on the show. We get along so well, and I think it'll be a great listen. So I decided to post it here, and for anyone that wants to move over to the podcast and go check out the rest of the review and the rest of episode 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. I mean, we're going to be covering this show all season. We also cover movies, Marvel, all types of stuff. All types of stuff. We have all of our reviews and episodes over there. I think it'll be a fun listen. I kind of want to push the podcast out some more. It's something that I love doing. So I'm getting off track, long-winded here, but this is the review for episode 1. It's only a part of it. I don't want to drop the full hour and a half on here. If you want that, if you want to watch that or listen to it, you can head over to the channel or just click the link tree in the bio. Without further ado, enjoy the review. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Words from the Nerds podcast. It's been a very long time. We've missed a little bit.
Small, tiny bit.
But we're back. We are back, and we're back on that grind, talking about no other than The Last of Us episode 1. That is right. We're already in mid-January, and I'm very, very, very excited about this one. Mr. Charles, how have you been?
I've been great, man. What a thing to come back to. This is
yeah.
if I had to pick one thing to start 2023 with, the podcast with, this is one that I would want to start it with. The one. And I'm feeling fantastic, especially after that episode. That was a little bit of a teaser for how I'm feeling on it. Just absolutely fantastic. It was everything I could have hoped for as a fan of the game.
Yeah, dude. It exceeded my expectations so much. I knew it was gonna be fire just based off the trailer we got, which was an amazing trailer, by the way. I knew it was gonna be very good, and especially it being like almost an hour and a half first episode. It's like we get a movie, we walk into a movie, and now we got 8 more episodes to follow. 8, 7. It's 9 episodes, right?
Yeah, nine total.
Okay,
so
9
yeah,
total.
8 left.
8 episodes left, and we it might not seem like it to people that have not played the game, but we have barely scratched the iceberg, bro. We have barely just a little scratch on there, bro. We have so much left, and I cannot be more excited.
Back to weekly coverage. Yes.
Yeah, we're back. It's been, man, dude, we haven't covered a show since
She-Hulk, I think.
Oh, She-Hulk. Yeah, I was gonna say since The Boys, but yeah, since She-Hulk, that bled into October a little bit, and then
it's been a while. That's crazy.
Because after that it was Wakanda, and then now we're here with The Last of Us. Whoo, it feels good. It feels so good to be back. Just like talking about like, oh, dude, post credit scene, and then did you see this? Did you see that?
Exactly. No, yeah. Like the little teaser, there's a clicker at the end of the episode that I didn't see at all until someone pointed. I heard it, but I didn't see it. So,
and it looks so good too, like just standing there like howling. Oh my gosh. So, without further ado, we're saving spoilers for the end, right? Like for people that have played the game, and like because there might be some people that have not played the game before, and it's gonna be hard. But then we could do like a little spoiler section where we can just get into like, because like if Ben wants to listen to this, or if people that follow us that haven't played the game want to listen to this,
Yeah,
we can,
we'll try to just keep it to the what happened in the episode, and then we'll do a section at the very end for like where we think it could go from there,
yeah,
judging off of what we've seen, what we know of the game and such. So yeah, I think that's the best way to go.
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be
Yeah,
very
no,
hard,
I
bro.
because like I'm just so at this point I just so naturally talk about
Yeah,
everything just from
yeah,
like talking about it on TikTok and whatnot. So I'll do my
yeah.
best though. I don't think I'll spoil anything too bad.
I mean, even just like the background we have right now, I don't know if you can tell what it is here. Maybe we
Okay,
can
yeah.
yeah, but you can see
Yeah.
it's Ellie playing the guitar with her hands.
Yeah.
All right. So, episode 1 of The Last of Us. Why don't you kick us off? You're the Last of Us enthusiast. I love this game, but it's been a long time since I played it, but you have been like just hitting everything. I caught this
Yeah.
person, and I'm like, "All right, go at it." So, why don't you take us away?
I've been pioneering this show on TikTok for like months now. Um, I just wanted to be one of I love the I because like Aiden, I love this game so much, this franchise so much. I wanted to be a voice within it, but or on that app. But this episode was fantastic, man. I mean, even after watching it, there's so many little things that I didn't catch, but I caught a lot, and so I'm really excited to see what else and how else that'll pay off. I also listened to the companion podcast. I don't know if you did, Aiden. Um, there's like an official podcast with Troy Baker, who is the voice
Wow.
actor of Joel in the game, then and also with Neil Druckmann, the original writer of the game, and
Mm.
producer on the show, and Craig Mason, the creator of the show. And they did a lot more insight of little things into this episode. And we'll get into that later. But I thought this is one of the most fantastic starts to a series that I've ever seen. And granted, you can take that how you want to. I might sound biased because I'm fully admitting that I very much enjoy the video game, but I think it's almost been unanimously loved by everybody. Even most people I've seen, most people I know, mutuals on TikTok and such, don't have not played the game, and
Mhm.
even they are highly praising the show. And so I've seen very little negative things to have been said about it. Um, it rips her heart out in this first episode, just like the game
Uh,
does. I think it does it better than the game does. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Pedro's
I
performance. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no
God.
seriously.
Oh, okay, keep going.
No, seriously, no, that's like 100%. Both his and Nico Parker's performance in that scene absolutely floored me. It's I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I just we need to talk about it because my favorite part I think is just how he continuously tries to pick her up to take her, but then she becomes limp and then he just gives up and just starts hugging her. And it's like he's
Mm,
accepting it, but not, he doesn't accept it at the same time. He just, it's just, it's so beautifully done, which sounds
yeah.
really weird when I'm talking about someone dying, but
Dying.
it is just, it's fantastic. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Um, and I love what they did specifically with Sarah this time around because in the game, it doesn't let you spend as much time with her. You don't get
Mhm.
to, not that it was like a really in-depth time with her within the show, but still more so than the game did. And I think
Yeah.
that definitely worked in the favor of the show when it came to that scene in particular.
Yeah.
Um, just following her throughout Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
uh,
dude, that caught me off guard big time. I can't remember. There's no way that was in the game. Was it? Like were they based
um,
in Austin in the game? I
I
can't. I
actually don't
couldn't
remember.
remember. That's why it
I don't
took me
remember
off,
either.
like caught me off guard so bad. Like just seeing Austin, and then he said something about when Tommy calls him to bail him out of jail, and he's like, "Oh, like is it Travis County?" And I was like, "What the hell? Like that's the county right next to me. Like what is going on?" It was so surreal.
That's kind of cool, actually. I don't
Yeah.
remember if it was in the game. Um, if it was, I don't remember them making it that prominent, but maybe they did, and we're just both not as big of fans as we say we are. But you follow her throughout the day before or the day of the outbreak, and she just goes to school and everything, and then you slowly start to see little things um, turn for the worst, and
Yeah.
it starts with a kid in class just weirdly twitching his arm on the desk. And to those of you who haven't played the game, you probably didn't think much of it. But then the scene, Aiden and I were talking about this before we started recording. The scene where she goes over to the neighbor's house and is like looking through their wardrobe or their bookshelf or something. And then in the background, blurred out, you can see the grandma in the wheelchair just twitching with her mouth open, and and the music just slowly threads. It's, oh my God, the tension building was absolutely top notch.
Yeah. It was so chilling. And I told you before we started recording, I was like, that was the moment I was like, yeah, this is it. Like, this show is going to blow everyone away. And at that point, bro, what's even crazier, at that point, we were only like what 20-ish minutes, maybe less into the episode. We still
Yeah.
had so much more, which we're gonna cover all that.
An entire
But
hour. It's crazy.
dude, yeah, it was so like perfect. It was like it was perfect down to the last minute detail. It was so good,
No,
dude.
truly.
But I was gonna say something about yeah, Sarah's death. So we're fine spoiling the episode. We'll get into the spoiler for the game and for part 2 later on. But yeah, Sarah's death, man. I was rewatching it, and I like how you said that. Like, I mean, it's the acting. The acting is so good, and just Pedro's voice. You can hear him say, "I know, I know, I know," and he says it over and over. And then he yells at Tommy, and he's like, "Tommy, help!" And Tommy's like, "Joel." I was like,
Dude.
dude, that's it was just
So good.
even just people that are like have not played the game. You're just sitting there and you're like, "There's no way." Like, what? Like, we spent 15, 20 minutes with this character, and now she's dead. Like,
Yeah.
what? And as soon as Tommy said Joel, and then Joel doesn't even fight back. He just, that's when he accepts it, and then he just holds her. And bro, when I tell you I was sobbing, I've played the game. I've seen this scene multiple times.
Knew it was coming.
Broke me. Even like you said, even harder than when I first watched it.
I
Way
turned to my
harder.
girlfriend, tears running down my face, and I said, I think they did that better than the game. That
Yeah.
was It was so damn good, man.
Yeah.
I want to backpedal a little bit because I know we jumped ahead. The episode opens with a flashback of sorts to 1968, a talk show with two scientists and some talk show hosts. They're essentially asking them about global pandemics and what might be the worst case scenario. And the scientists are talking about specifically fungi, and how they affect the animal kingdom rather than they affect insects and animals more so than they affect humans. And in ants and such, they talk about how it takes over their mind and leads them up a tree, and it'll slowly kill them from the inside, make them see things, that kind of thing. But I love what they did this time around because they didn't really flesh this out in the game, this part of it out in the game as
Mhm.
much. The scientist said, because the talk show host asked, like, well, does that affect humans? And the scientist said, no, not currently, luckily. But then he said, but if the world were to get slightly warmer and then the fungi were to mutate due to that warmth so they could survive in human body temperatures, then we lose. And that was just the perfect way to set up that sort of bone chilling suspense, I feel like. And it also grounds it in reality so much better than the game ever did, I think.
Yeah.
The prospect that global warming, which is caused by humans, um, we could be warned about that years and years and years prior and just not care. It's definitely a commentary on that as well. Um, but I love how it adds a sense of realism to it that the game necessarily didn't have, and it makes the fear ever so much more real than it ever was in the game. And so I appreciated that immensely.
Yeah. I mean, it caught me off guard. Like, as soon as we opened on that, I was like, "What is this?" And that's like the first of many moments in this episode that like aren't in the game. And then I think we're even gonna. I saw someone talk about on Twitter that we might even go back even further to how like how the virus or how the fungi like developed and like patient zero and things.
Yeah.
And so that's what's so like nice about getting this as a TV show, because like not only is The Last of Us such an like interesting universe, such a cool universe to kind of sit in with like all the lore and the virus and the zombies and stuff and the was it contracepts I don't know,
Cordyceps.
cordyceps.
Yeah.
um but to put it in a TV show with 9 episodes that are all going to be about an hour long, and to go back and visit things that we haven't even seen before, that the makers of this game, the writers of the game are overseeing, being like, yeah, yeah, fuck it, why not, like let's say this, let's show this. And so things like that. And so to start the show off with that, I was like, oh yeah. And then it goes back to what you said about Sarah, like spending more time with her character makes the death hurt even more. Well, like in the game, you wake up and oh my gosh, when we saw that clock and she went to sleep, it all came flowing back to me. I was like, shit, dude. As she wakes up, she tries to look for Joel. He's not there. But even that, like, oh, where was Joel at? Like Joel was just at like nowhere, and then he just pulls up with Tommy. Um, explaining things like that, showing the patient zero, showing her going to the Alder's house or Adler's house,
Yeah.
and seeing the grandma twitch out, seeing her school, all stuff like that. To know that we have 8 more episodes of moments like that on top of moments that are like 1 to 1 of the game. I'm gonna keep using that 1 to 1 of the game. Like those two things combined, if they keep this up, holy shit! Like this could take best show of the year as the first show. Well, if you want to count Kaleidoscope, if you don't want to count Kaleidoscope, which I don't think we are, uh, as the first show, big show of the year, and it could just take it like that. I would not doubt that it already has some awards coming for it. I'm not afraid to say it. After this first episode, I would not be surprised if come awards season, next year at the end of the year, it gets some noms or some winners,
It's
because
winning
god
an Emmy of some
damn,
kind, bro. The
it
actors or the
has
show.
to.
Yeah.
Or even just like the makeup or the
Truly, yeah,
effects,
the effects, yeah. No,
because that clicker
definitely.
they find in the wall when him and Tess are walking through there.
That looks amazing.
And then we're gonna get to see even more like oh, man, I'm jumping ahead, but like the trailer where Ellie's like playing with it and like the eyes
Oh,
moving
yep.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But anyways, just to know that we have a whole bunch of things like that opening scene, and that, I mean, that to open it up with that talk show. First of all, very beautiful set design. It, like the cinematography, like the color grading on that looked so like
True, yeah, no. Yeah.
comforting. It just, but you know what's going on. You know what they're talking about. They're just all sitting there smoking a cigarette. Like it's just knowing what's going to come after that. Um, Especially what's going to come in a couple of minutes, seeing one of the most hard-hitting scenes in like video games, uh just really set the tone for me, where I was like, oh man, I'm completely invested.
That yeah, I think that's like what video game adaptations should be. You should be able to expand upon what you already know while still covering the stuff you already know. And
Yeah.
that was a perfect example of it, like with following Sarah around and maybe what she did beforehand.
And that
Uh,
does it for the teaser. I really wanted to put this clip out because the coverage of this show that me and Charlie have been talking about and doing week to week, it's so fun, and I personally think it's a great listen. And we are just so passionate about this show, about the shows that we cover, the movies we cover. Like I said, I mean, we did a Black Adam review, we did She-Hulk, like we mentioned in the clip, Miss Marvel, and we're gonna be doing a ton more. I mean, this 2023 is lined up with a ton of content, and you best believe that we're going to be there every step of the way covering it. So if you do want to hear the rest of this episode and even the next two and more to come later, as I said, the link tree is in the bio. Words from the Nerds podcast. I'm really so passionate about this pod. Like that is my number one priority, and then I think it goes YouTube and TikTok. And so I love covering all types of stuff with Charlie. It's so much fun. And yeah, so if you want to go check all that out, I would greatly appreciate it. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, all types of audio podcasts, obviously a video version here on YouTube. So I would greatly appreciate if anybody wanted to check that out. So um, without further ado, that is our The Last of Us Episode 1 review teaser. So, as I said, any support helps, any subs, likes, whatever, all the fun stuff. You know what to do. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying. And if you do go and listen or watch the podcast, again, greatly, greatly appreciate that. That the podcast is my baby. The podcast holds a spot right here in my heart. So I would very much appreciate any support. I will see you in the next one. Peace.